wrong with you, you fucking animal, you piece of shit, little tiny dick licker fucking asshole fucking... Ah!
Hello and welcome to the final podcast, the last podcast you will ever listen to. We are the creators of the Spooky Pit, the innovators of the Passion Bump, and we take you down the darkest rabbit holes of all things horror.
Welcome, spooky bitches. We review horror movies and fuck 'em with comedy. We are your final bros, Brian Hopwell, LaGrossa, and Shane. I wear Russell Athletic Clothing Smith. And we are joined as always today by our Scream Queen and producer, Jen, Nick Smith, Shane's brother. Back on the podcast. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Thanks, good to be back. Last time I was here, we did the Christmas episode for Gremlins. I was here with Danny Ravenda, but finally had another opportunity to come back on. I saw a movie that I liked, and you know what? I figured...
It wasn't the last time you were here.
That is true.
Yeah, it's true. I had like a 2-minute little spurt on the 100th episode.
The worst two parts of the AV season death, probably.
Yeah, I didn't even know what to say at that point.
We did it on purpose. We're sorry. We're actually not sorry.
Yeah, just some random orgasm.
I think we had the entire state of New Jersey on that episode.
I think so, yeah.
Fuck you, New Jersey.
Doing something very different today, though, boys. Very, very different. Ready or not?
Yes.
Here I come.
We are coming off of our... What were the sea shandy?
It's the summer shandy.
Summer shandy.
I mean, I feel like we've never really stapled that name in, but it's the summer shandy. It's been the summer shandy.
Yeah,
really.
no, you know me. I struggled probably to say it every single episode, but that is what we're coming off of. Now we're starting off August, and we don't have a theme. We're just going to review Ready or Not.
Yeah, we're just going to review Ready or Not. Comedy horror. And it's definitely... got a potential future Scream Queen. I think she might be there already in Samara Weaving.
Incredible.
So she's lit.
She's also in the Babysitter, right? Yeah.
I think she's in some other
really
stuff, too.
liked her.
She's good.
She's great.
Yeah.
She's great in the Babysitter too.
Yeah. She wasn't like in this movie. She didn't like suddenly turn into an expert in anything. Like I thought it was very like kind of a natural projection of anger.
I watched this movie
Agreed.
with my biological mother, my only mother, and she liked it a lot. And she kind of echoed the sentiments of like her being like such a badass. Because she's got the screams, but she's also kind of a fucking badass.
Well, she had enough of their shit throughout the movie.
True.
And
That's a family.
Yeah. Oh, very, very.
In-laws for you.
Fucking in-laws, dude.
Fucking in-laws.
That's right.
She gets the shit kicked out of her in this movie too.
Yeah, like literally she gets kicked and shit just flies out.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. It's a wild scene.
Kind of felt bad.
Yeah.
To be fair, I think everyone gets the shit kicked out of them in this movie, especially all the maids.
Yeah. I mean, what's his name? Alex. He does pretty good till the end.
Yeah. That transformation of character was a little interesting. Yeah. A little swift. I mean, I get it because... I mean, the idea is the family is cursed in Ready or Not. It's a cursed family, so you can understand why he would want to kill his wife.
I have a theory as to how that scene would have gone different if a couple things were different about it, but I'll tell you that when we get to it.
But this is a movie where, you watch horror movies and it's always like, is what the cult or whatever they believe real? I always undoubtedly had the sentiment this was real. I don't know about you guys. Like, I never thought this was fake.
Yeah, and I'm glad they went with the route that this was real.
Yeah.
Because it kind of adds to it. Like, if it was actually all fake, it kind of would have been a letdown at that point.
I mean, horror movies have, for the most part, like, have been doing the everything that you is said and to believe is real, which is good, because it usually makes it scarier.
It does.
And not, like, a letdown.
Well, you even believe it's real because early on in the movie, they talk about how they didn't... Like, one group of people didn't have the wedding there. They ended up dying in, like, a house fire. And then there was another scene where...
A couple cousins.
Yeah, they just randomly died. So, like, they alluded to that it was real. So, you had that thought already.
Which makes you think that it's, like, the immediate families and not, like, the whole family, which I think is a little bit of a plot hole. But...
What do you mean?
How deep does the family... Where's the line cut?
Because... That means that it's your siblings' family, like their cousins. So why doesn't their sibling also, like, it doesn't make sense.
It's like, because they do explain parts of their family, like pockets, have died. And there's been, like, pressed to write it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True, but then it would be like, why doesn't the whole family die?
Yeah.
Which is, that makes sense. Because, like, in this instance, not to spoil it, but spoil it, the whole family dies because of just the one.
But it's like their immediate family.
Yeah, it's interesting.
So it doesn't make any sense, because if it was pockets of their family, someone would have had to been like a cousin or something, which meant they would have had a sister or a brother. So why didn't that sister or brother also die? So,
And then just
Yeah.
down the line, everyone exploding.
yeah.
It's like an It Follows thing, dude.
Yeah.
You know
No,
what I mean?
you're right,
You can
you're
just go down rabbit holes.
Rabbit holes, but overall, this is a great movie.
Oh yeah.
don't
Super
we-
enjoyable.
You can go just down the rabbit hole into the spooky pit.
So you're saying, let's jump right into the spooky pit.
Okay, ready or not, released in 2019, playing a game at midnight on your wedding night just sounds exhausting. Ask Grace. Hide and seek kind of fucking blows. Ready or Not is directed by two people, Matt Bettolini-Alpin and Tyler Gillette, and it stars Samara Weaving, as we mentioned, as Grace. Phenomenal job. The very sexy and sensual Adam Brody as Daniel, Mark O'Brien as Alex, Henry Zerny as Tony, and Andy McDowell as Becky.
Great cast. Great cast.
If you forgot about what Andy McDowell was doing with her life, it's this movie.
Yeah. Back in what year was this?
2019 only.
Yeah. Oh really? Okay,
it's-
so it wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, no, it's a newer movie.
I thought it was back like in the earlier 2000s, and I was like, yeah, back then.
I don't know why comedy horrors are just better than regular horror movies nowadays, like for the most part. And 2019 was a fucking crazy good year for horror movies.
Yeah.
Like I could rattle off like 5 bangers off the top of my head.
But I also don't think they like overdid the comedy. Like I like the comedy wasn't super in your face.
No.
Like Leprechaun.
That was just a comedy. There wasn't
I know.
even a horror.
I know. I just love how much you hated it.
I feel like the intention was horror.
Yeah.
Well, I guess like the little jokes were attention, like Warwick Davis chiming in.
Yeah, and then just the tricycle he rides and the little car and the... Oh, God. Let's not talk about that.
Can we please not?
Are we going to review Leprechaun 2 next?
Sequel September.
Yeah.
It could be on the docket, man. It could definitely be on the docket.
St. Patrick's Day, this coming in 2023. I think it's time we bring out Leprechaun 2. Because I do eventually want to get to where he's in space.
Jesus, that's like the worst movie
kind of
ever.
want to
I
too,
think
though.
you want to avoid that at all costs. I've seen that, and
And
you don't want to go down that road.
I mean, we're eventually gonna get to Jason in space.
Oh, I can't wait.
at least that movie's okay. though.
Me and
I don't
Brian,
think so.
I love Jason X. Love Jason X.
I'm like impartial because I felt like they just got so worse, and I got bored of watching them.
I love that
I don't know. Maybe I'll get a newfound appreciation for it.
We'll see. But let's talk about this, which is going to open with basically in the past, the game of hide and seek happening with this family where they're hunting a husband of some woman and there's 2 kids and they're scared, but one kid's going to rat out where the person is. We find out the one that rats out where the person is Daniel, and Alex is traumatized.
Alex, like, he hides. Like, he puts him in, like, a little hiding spot.
Yes.
And the husband they're hunting is actually Aunt Helene's husband.
Yes.
So the older woman that you see that's carrying the battle axe
And-
throughout most of the movie.
And she never fucking married again, so.
She's, like, crying. Like, she's, like, literally the fact that their family is, like, hunting her husband, she's, like, mortified as a young girl.
And then it transcends her into Aunt Helene.
I love
who
her
is
character, man.
Insane.
I love her.
Insane. When she's running around with a battle axe.
Yeah. She looks like a troll, like a thin troll.
She does. She has like that. She almost
spiky hair.
She looks like she's cosplaying as the woman from Troll 2.
Oh, my God.
So yeah, we're going to now cut to like 30 years in the future. Alex is getting married to the beautiful Grace. And Alex throughout this whole time is trying to give her an out. He's like, we don't have to do this.
Yeah, he's, like, trying to and he lays it on kind of thick.
Yeah.
And she's like, bro, we're doing this. And it's kind of weird. Like, I feel like the wedding was so weird.
Oh yeah, the wedding was awfully weird.
They were like seeing each other, you know, before at, like the altar. Like they were just hanging out in the back room talking. She's in her wedding dress. He's in his suit.
That doesn't happen.
No.
You just have that one reveal where some pictures are taken and then you don't see each other
It just
again.
makes me think that this family has more important traditions.
And they do. They have very important traditions because after the wedding, like, because the wedding barely takes place. They kind of don't even show the wedding.
It's so quick. The focus is really just on like his family relationship with her.
Yes, because right after the wedding, Alex and Grace are having a little makeout sesh on the bed when Aunt Helene's going to sneak into the room and she's like, 10 minutes to the game room.
You ever just play a game at midnight on your wedding day?
Yeah, I was going to say, imagine trying to go to the Bone Zone and then someone else's aunt just walks in and you're like, what the hell's going on?
How'd she get in? Oh, this house just has a bunch of secret doors.
He was like, she got in through the servants' quarters. Don't worry.
Yeah, it's like there's secret doors everywhere that lead to all these different rooms.
Yeah, I just want servants coming in like the middle of the night.
Yeah.
The first 15 minutes of this movie is just straight sketchiness.
Yeah.
Random hallways, all the families looking at each other weird. Even at one point, they're like, oh, hopefully we don't have to play that game tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like your husband's like, yeah, you don't have to marry me right now, like, or just run away. Like everything's just so odd.
He's like, I bought you a plane ticket if you want to go.
Please leave.
Yeah. But they're going to go down to the game room, and Alex's mom is going to talk to Grace, and she's going to be like, we're glad you could possibly bring Alex back into the fold.
Yeah, because apparently, like, he kind of, like, removed himself from the family, and you do find out later.
You wonder why.
You do wonder why. It is a little bit because
Was it after they played Old Maid?
from the beginning of the movie and some other weird shit.
Yeah.
He mentions, like, slaughtering goat throat and shit like that.
Yeah, no, it's going to get pretty wild. So we're going to see the rest of the family. So Daniel's there with his wife, who they have a loving relationship.
She's a psychopath.
Yeah, she's crazy. We meet his coked up sister with her fat husband.
Like, why did Daniel even marry her? I'm so confused.
Maybe she was cool before the whole ritual.
Yeah, I mean, one thing is very evident that Alex and Daniel, the brothers, do not want to be here. Like, they look very visibly upset.
Yeah. And they're what? Like, they're supposed to be like fourth generation of this game now, I think, because it's their great grandfather was who started it. Victor.
Terrible at making deals.
I also feel like they're the only two to actually kind of like each other in the family. I feel like everyone else kind of resents each other.
100%. They have a very close bond.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is almost why I think Alex turns at the end, because I think he thinks that Grace killed Daniel.
100%.
So it's a little justified why he does flip.
So we'll wait till that. I have theories.
Okay.
I have theories about how that could have gone differently if he arrived at a different time.
Or proper communication in a relationship.
Absolutely. So let's talk about this room.
Yeah, like you might die on your wedding
Talk about this
night.
room that was definitely modeled after a Resident Evil game.
Yo, I was thinking the same. I'm pretty sure there is a room in Resident Evil 1 with all these weapons and boar's heads on the wall.
I think there's one in 2. I think there's like one in every...
Oh, there is one in 2.
I know
The Chief's room.
Absolutely. It's game room for a reason. There's like hunting trophies and shit, and then Vic has got like a quail rifle.
Yes.
He's just hunting quail.
Yo, there's like a picture of him like stepping on a tiger's neck or something.
It's pretty much have done. Victor's like the goat, dude. He's done literally everything.
And there's also a portrait of LaBelle.
Yeah.
And
It's like a game. I mean, this family is just like all about game making.
Yeah.
You see like a bunch of like board games and shit. Like they make games.
because we learned the history that their great-grandfather, Victor, he met a man named LaBelle, and they made a deal where if he allowed him to invest and do this specific thing, that their family would be rich and prosperous in the games industry and stuff like that. Because Vic started off as just a playing card maker, and then it branched off into more.
Yeah, and it has to deal with this box that they're passing around.
Yes.
It's a box. The whole thing is, the deal was he would give him immense riches and fortune, pretty much anything he wanted if he could figure out this puzzle by the time, because they were sailing. And you know when you sail, you just strike bonds with people? You always do. You always find a rando. And he found LaBelle, who's got this puzzle box, and
he's basically Pinhead.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Pretty much. That's the vibe I got. And so basically, before he gets support, he has to figure out this box. And if he does, he gets immense riches, and obviously from the way that this family's set up, you know that he was successful in that. They own like 4 sports teams.
Yeah, I was going to say that because towards the end of the movie, now that, well, they're all dead, the 4 sports teams, you know, that's huge. Who's going to buy these 4 sports teams?
Who's
now?
it going to? Does she inherit the sports team?
She's legally married.
Oh my God, that's a power play. If I've ever seen one.
I think they split them up, right?
What do you mean?
Like amongst the kids.
But they're all dead.
Well, yeah, actually, no, you're right.
It's like
I think it's hers. She owns 4 sports
It's
teams.
like a dead fest.
Definitely like going to be in jail after this, though.
Yeah, probably. But at least she owns 4 sports teams. I'm going to say the teams they own are probably the Washington Commanders now.
Yes. Is it the Cleveland?
Guardians.
Is that really the name of the team?
Yeah.
I'm dead.
Cleveland Guardians.
Yeah, that is their new name.
No, I haven't really watched much baseball this year, so you see how much I know.
Yeah, it's the Cleveland
It's their
Guardians.
first year, right? Is it
Yes,
Cleveland?
as the Guardians. They probably own, let's go with the Dodgers, because everyone invested into the Dodgers at one point in time.
And he probably just owned stock in Green Bay.
Yeah,
So,
so that is the 4 teams we were going with.
Publicly traded sports team.
Yeah. So they put this blank card into the box, and now whatever card Grace pulls out is the game she has to play.
So fun fact, you know how like before she pulls the card out, she's like looking over like a bunch of board games. Yeah. It says here that they submitted. I don't know. I didn't go back and read them, and I kind of wanted to, and I forgot about it because I kind of didn't care. Yeah. Apparently, they submitted 200 fictional board game names, and only 8 were cleared by the legal department.
I know one is just like family rituals, like legit. Yeah. It's just family rituals.
Yeah, no,
that's not sketchy.
So I want to know like what the other board game names were. Like, I wish they released that because I want to know why the legal department was like, nah, I can't put them in the movie.
Jesus. I can only imagine. It's probably some crazy shit.
They were like past the head.
Isn't like the logo for LaBelle's games is like a devil head?
Yes, it is. Yeah. So it's like, it's very in your face, which I kind of like. Like, they don't hide it. Like,
and we said it before.
Is that what it's called? LaBelle's games?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and his name definitely spelled around as Belial, like I said.
Which is the devil.
But I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
So
people really need to learn to read names backwards.
I know, it's crazy. So they put the card in. She pulls it out, and she's like, oh, hide and seek. Are we actually going to play hide and seek? And you just see mainly the 2 brothers just die on the inside when they see this card pulled.
Because they know they're either going to die or she's going to die. Most likely her. I mean, like, she can't possibly kill every member of this family.
Yeah. Alex is like flipping out too. He's like, we don't have to, we're leaving. We're not playing this game. And
yeah, but like even then, like you're going to know the history. Like the idea of the game is she has to play hide and seek. They're going to try to hunt her down. And she has to survive until dawn. If she does, they're cursed, this family.
Yes, but she doesn't know it's a game to the death yet.
Not yet, no.
So
I do have a theory as to why she pulled that card. Because he took himself out of the family, and he plans to take both of them out of the family. And I think that was LaBelle's way of punishing him for it.
Of trying to get out?
Yeah.
Maybe.
That makes sense. That does actually make sense.
But it would be really funny if like they were pulled out of the family and like their kids got married and then like they didn't play a game and everyone exploded.
I mean, we don't have to worry about that because everyone will explode at the end. So she's going to go hide in the dumbwaiter, and Alex is going to sit on the couch in anguish. And we're going to listen to this record of the hide and seek song. Was this a real song before the movie? Because it's fucking eerie.
I love it.
Like,
I absolutely love that old-timey music that you hear in like fucking BioShock.
Oh yeah, and the song goes on for at least like 2-3 minutes.
Yeah.
It feels like.
Did you like it from Insidious too? Like,
yes,
love it.
Through the window.
Oh, the Tiny Tim music.
Yeah.
It made me realize, like, anyone who listened to the music in the 20s, like, you had to be scared at all times listening to that kind of music, right? Like,
it was supposed to be fun.
Really? Because I just assume a demon is coming whenever I hear any of that old music.
When did World War II happen?
The 40s.
40s, yeah.
This music was foreshadow.
Yeah. It really was. So this whimsical music is playing, and she hides, and you just see the family arming up. I'm talking crossbows, battle axes, a gun, like...
Yeah, and
Wait, the bow and arrow.
Everything.
Fun fact about that later, because we're probably going to skip over it. The video that the husband is watching is the directors.
Yeah. No, the writers. The two writers. Yeah, it's the 2 writers. Because it's like Ryan Murphy and the other guy.
Yeah. So this guy is just like, he wants to learn how to use a crossbow. So he's like watching YouTube tutorials.
Yeah. It's actually like, it's some shit, not for a crossbow, but like anytime I don't know how to do something, I look up a YouTube tutorial. It's just...
I don't think he really has a choice whether he needs to learn how to use it or not, unless like he just throws it at her and it's like, eh.
And even with that scene, that's like one thing I like with this movie. No one knows how to use shit. So they're all just like guessing. Like, girls are just firing guns aimlessly. Like, no one knows how to use a crossbow.
Especially the sister. It's the sister, right? She's just fucking popping off everything.
She's on coke.
We could go right into that scene pretty much because like, It's going to come up pretty soon, like, because Grace is going to get tired of hiding in the dumb waiter, so she's going to leave.
I feel so bad for her. And how long do you think she was in there? How long do you guys
The
really
dumb
think?
waiter, I would say like maybe 15. I was going with 15.
No, I think she was in there a lot longer.
In the beginning?
Yeah.
I thought she was in there for like literally like 3 minutes.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I thought she was in there for 5 minutes. She's like, oh,
So I went high even
Well,
with
because
15 maybe.
they have to go through the whole ritual of like getting ready and everything. That's why I think because he told her just hide the whole night. So that's why I think like she was in there for a while.
Yeah. It's possible. They don't give an exact time because you got to think she has to survive 6 hours. So throughout the course of this movie is 6 hours. I'm assuming dawn is 6 a.m. right normally.
Let's assume so.
Yeah. So she leaves, but Alex goes through one of the servants' corridors to get out and away from the family. He's going to find her, pull her from behind the bed, and be like,
Yeah, you ever like chloroform someone when they're by their car? Like this is the method to do that.
yes.
He's perfected it, obviously.
He's like, look, we just gotta, this is real. They're hunting you. I gotta keep you safe. And then the maid comes in, and this is when the sister comes in, shoots the maid in the face.
Thinking it's the bride, and this is the realization. Like this is kind of a fucked up game.
Yeah.
This ain't right.
And you know what? If she actually shot Grace in the face, they still fail the ritual. She dies.
and
So
that's-
what happens?
I know.
then?
And
I
that's
know.
and that's what the dad says. Like when he storms in, he's like, "You can't be shooting her in the face. We need to perform the ritual."
Yeah. And one thing I
Do they still then explode?
I would assume.
I would assume so.
I should mention, this house is armed with like cameras, and she calls it out
Yeah.
before they even start, and like they shut it off because they think it's cheating.
Well, they say specifically that like one of the rules that really the only rule kind of this game that we find out, other than in this game she has to die, is that you're supposed to play them as the LaBelle would have played them back in his time.
True, but like I think they make like
They do rationalize it later on.
They rationalize why LaBelle, like as a trickster, would include it. Like I don't think that there's no specific rule set against it. It's just gamesmanship to turn it off.
Well, because what they say eventually is they're like, LaBelle would have used cameras if he had them during his time. It's not our fault they didn't have cameras when LaBelle
Do you
was
think
around.
they would have been punished for that too?
No.
For cheating.
I think LaBelle, he would have loved them just honestly being devious and doing it. If he is the devil, right? Like the devil be all about
I
cheating.
always find that so interesting where there's kind of like these rules that they've been told they have to play by for years. So I'm like, are there consequences to that? Because we won't find out.
No, but
I play a lot of games and I read a lot of rule books, and one thing that I always go by is if it's not in the rule book, it's allowed. Like as a fact, there's no gray area. If something is not specifically listed in the rule book, you can do it.
I agree with that because a rule book is there to tell you can't do this. So if it's not saying it.
Some rule books do suck, but yes, that's how I play
Well,
it.
hey, then that's the rule book's
It's
fault
the
for sucking.
designer's fault.
Exactly.
The question is, has LaBelle, he may have not made a consistent game, but it's pretty much a free-for-all, I think.
As long as she's dead, ritual is performed before 6 a.m., I think all is good.
Yeah.
And then LaBelle enters later and is like, what the fuck, guys?
They should make a sequel to this. I don't know how they would do it.
Yeah, I don't
Another
either because the
family
whole
finds the box, maybe?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I think that they could... See, this is a movie I actually think could be a sequel. And I rarely say that.
I mean, you almost can make a prequel to it where Vic gets the box and has to play for the first time with his family.
Or how about a biopic
Oh,
of Vic's
true.
life?
That would be awesome.
I like that. Sailing the sea.
Like instead of going forward, we go backwards.
Yes,
That'd
and
be
see like the
good.
first time they played hide and seek.
It's like a 4-hour biopic of this man's adventures. Taking down fucking...
just wrestling tigers.
Mountain lions in his bare hands.
Just snaps a bear's neck.
Yeah, struggling, fucking choking out bears and hunting quail and...
A sick man. He's a sick man.
Oh, it's not LaBelle's game. It's I thought that sounded weird. It's LaBelle's Gambit, which sounds way cooler.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the name of his, it's like a company?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gambit is a really cool word. Just gonna throw it out there.
I was like, you sound right, but I thought it sounded cooler.
Sounds like a game store, like the Gamers Gambit. Remember the Gamers Gambit?
Yes, I do.
But
There's
that was
game stores like that.
yeah, no, it's actually you're right. It's the opening game is together is Family Ritual and LaBelle's Gambit. So
Yeah,
that's
really cool actually.
I want to go back and kind of like read all the games.
I also
now.
saw that like on the bottom right it said ID, which is actually the name of a game publishing company. So I don't know. They may have had someone like just like the company make like a
True,
design
they could have got like a sponsor just
Yeah.
to finally throw something real on there. Okay, so Alex is going to get Grace out of the room after the maid's dead because their family's going to carry the body out. The sister's going to run back in because she realized she forgot her gun. Literally not snort coke, just shove it into her nose.
Yeah, Steven Tyler would approve.
Oh my God. But yeah, she's coked out. She also has 2 kids, if we haven't mentioned, sleeping in their room.
Yes.
Well, no, one of them left, remember?
Georgie?
That's
Yes,
why
Georgie has left.
That's why the
Maid was looking for Georgie.
Yeah, he was looking for a sailboat.
Didn't catch that she was a maid because she was like kind of dressed nice in heels, and I was like, who the fuck is this?
To be fair, all their maids are dressed nice.
This is
but-
true.
So yeah, so now they're just going to try to escape. Alex is explaining the whole family ritual, which we don't have to go over again, but he's explaining this to Grace. Grace is going to cut open her wedding dress. She's going to throw on some yellow Converse, which I read they don't make yellow Converse anymore, so they just had to get regular Converse and they spray painted them yellow.
Interesting. I
Yep,
mean,
they don't make that anymore.
She's a gamer, bro. She's like cutting it up, getting ready to run.
She's ready.
I hope so.
Well, you know what? She grew up in like foster care. I'm sure she's used to like running from home to home.
Weird threads, running from home, like you said, not wearing a lot of clothes, being a tomboy.
Yeah, this classic foster care
Probably
stuff.
playing hide and seek. Like, what do you do in an orphanage?
I don't know. I've never been to one.
But she said her foster parents are awesome.
Yeah, which was good. So I also think Daniel's wife had like a troubled childhood. She almost mentions it. She's like, she's almost like she married him because of the money. She was fully in it for the money. So
What is the best foster home of all time? Is it Foster's Home of Imaginary Children?
I was thinking The Orphanage.
Wow, Shane. That's a good movie.
It's a really good movie.
It's very Spanish. It's a Spanish movie.
Yes. Was it directed by Guillermo del Toro or
directed or
produced or something, right?
Yeah. See, he definitely was heavily involved in that.
I gotta do a Guillermo movie.
I'll do you.
I understood that foster home for imaginary friends, and it always made me feel bad because I was like,
Did I say
even
children?
if they're adopted, like they're gonna come back because those kids grow up anyway.
Yeah, I get mixed up with that in Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar.
Yeah, I've never seen
Children or
that.
whatever.
So
I didn't see that either, but
Tim Burton movie, and I also read. I
never saw that one.
There's like it's like a 3-part book. I think I read the first one and never finished them. But yeah, just you're weird. You're weird kids.
Yeah.
You're invisible kids.
Classic. Always invisible kids in these movies.
And your kids that explode at dawn.
Well, we'll get to that. So,
Oh, do you want to hear something? There's theories why Grace got the card.
There's probably probably a lot of theories why she got the card.
Well, this is the one that I just found, so I'm gonna go with that.
let's hear it.
It says it's heavily implied, and they call it Grace being rejected by Mr. LaBelle, like him giving her that card is him rejecting her, because her motive for marrying Alex was love and not just money, and Grace's soul would be more difficult to obtain because technically he owns their souls, like they gave their lives to him. And it also mentions that both Charity and Fitch had no issue selling their souls in exchange for the material, whereas Grace longed for just the family. And the second one is Helene draws comparisons between herself and Alex, both resisting their quote-unquote destiny by trying to leave the family. So that means like Aunt Helene was also trying to get out of the family.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That Helene reveal was so fucking interesting because you see her as this brute, and then you see her as that like soft-hearted moment at the end that makes it connect to the beginning and realize that's her. I thought that was really good.
Yeah, I enjoyed all of it. Like I said, this is actually a very good movie. Like it's the plot holes aside, it's very entertaining and very interesting.
She's like the armpit of the family.
She is,
but a very well deodorized
armpit.
Armpit.
The spiky hair does her well.
And back
It does.
on plot holes, like Daniel and his wife like absolutely hate each other. What if they got a divorce? What happens then? Does she instantly die?
Maybe she blows up because she's out of the family.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Maybe you can't get divorced. Maybe it's in the contract of the devil.
There's a lot of like rabbit holes.
I need a rule book.
You can go down a real Bill Maher rabbit hole.
Oh God, let's not do that today. So what we will get to now today is Alex is going to go to the camera room and try to like break the cameras and get the doors open for her to escape. She's going to start going through like some more servants tunnels. She's going to run into Daniel drinking on the couch, and Daniel's like, "Look, I got to rat you out, family, but I'll give you a 10-second head start."
And it's a real generous 10. It's more like a hot 20, maybe 25.
I mean, he's doing like 1/1000th and a half.
He looks very downtrodden, upset, but he looks so good.
Look, we always say we want tight dudes and hot chicks. He's a tight dude.
Absolutely tight dude.
And he is, like we said, going to let her escape. And then they're going to now run into another maid and accidentally shoot her in the mouth with a crossbow.
Yeah.
And the whole family's going to have a little chat here. And this is when Aunt Helene's like, we have to perform the ritual.
They need to huddle up.
Yeah. And you're going to hear the maid choking in the background. So Aunt Helene's just going to finish her off with a battle axe.
Yeah, the axe is wicked.
That's just a badass move, though. Like, someone just pissing
She
you
does
off,
not
just
care.
chop their head off of a battle axe. Like, they're already dead, but just, I guess, put them... She probably did her a favor, to be honest.
100%.
Helene understands the importance of family. Maybe if that douchebag Alex would get his shit together and understand what family really means,
Yeah.
they can continue and prosper.
Yes, 100%. This is also why they're going to decide they got to turn the cameras on. So they're going to go to the camera room to eventually run into Alex, where there's a little scuffle, and they're going to tie Alex up to a bed.
Yeah, the father's going to basically just crank him over the head with something.
Yeah, does anyone remember what he hits him with?
A shotgun or something?
Oh,
Whatever
does.
gun
He
has?
wrestles. Yeah, he hits him in the face with the gun, and they tie him up. I believe this is when Grace is going to try to hide in the dumbwaiter again, but she finds the maid in the dumbwaiter, and the maid instantly rats her out.
She's here!
And then the dumbwaiter closes on her,
It's just
crushing.
a slow, cruel, crushing death. Deserved.
Actually, funny part about this,
It was
this
deserved.
isn't a maid. I actually think she says, yeah, they just hired me to dance for the dad or something like that, right?
Yeah, she said she was hired as a maid because he
Hilarious.
liked the way she
She
danced.
dances.
Fair.
You can do that when you have money.
That's a weird...
Where does she hang out? Does she just stay in the dumbwaiter until she's needed? Is that like her shift?
Maybe. The dad's like, you can come out now and dance for me.
It's like I was like when we talking about like servants and cooks or whatever staff. Do they sleep in the estate or do they like?
No, there's
they're-
either
There's the servants' quarters.
yeah, there's either the servants' quarters in the estate or they do get a separate house at like on the property.
Yeah, so I was just
Typically.
curious.
It's modern day slavery, except you're paid.
Yeah, that's almost.
You can I don't know if you can leave this house
Yeah, so...
particularly.
So would the maids blow up if they were still alive?
No, because they're not
No.
part of the family.
Yeah,
Okay.
they list that when everyone who is not inherently part of the family is like, do the maids count?
So if you're a maid, you just get like a cheeky thrill.
I guess
I
so.
know, like-
I think so.
Maybe.
But like the maids almost at points act like they don't even know what's going on sometimes.
Because they just walk around aimlessly,
Yeah.
even though they know murders. Well, they don't know murders coming around.
No,
guess, but-
I don't think any of the help knows except for the butler.
Yes,
Yeah, he clearly knows.
Well, we could get to the butler scene now because then she runs to the kitchen. She's hiding in the kitchen.
The butler's a big fan of song.
Yes, he starts singing. She has a gun. Doesn't go off though. I
No.
guess so. She then smacks him in the face with a glass jar to escape.
Does she shoot a bullet in this movie?
She tries.
She tries multiple
I'm
times.
saying, does she actually shoot a bullet?
No.
No, she never actually does.
Yeah.
Well, the butler did say that the ammunition was fake.
Yes,
That's why
yes.
the gun
It
didn't
doesn't go
fire.
off.
So, but no, she never uses an actual gun in the movie. No, I
Yeah,
think
my
that-
left knee is completely numb. I've been sitting on it the entire time. It is
Do you
gone.
want to switch legs real quick?
I think I need it amputated.
Okay. Luckily, I am a
have-
doctor
you
and I
have an
know how to
axe?
amputate.
Can you peg it?
What does that mean?
Like put a peg on there so it can be a
Oh,
pirate?
peg leg? Yeah, definitely.
Because you can't sing shanties if you have two legs,
So you have been sitting on this leg to lose it so you could get a peg leg?
so I can sing a shanty.
Fair. Well, we've sang plenty of shanties.
Yeah, but we're doing it kind of like against the rules.
Incorrectly, right. LaBelle is going to be pissed.
That is correct.
So,
This is where we're gonna start getting down and dirty. She's gonna try to make some breaks for it soon
yeah, she's gonna try to escape by,
by means of the basement. Is it the basement?
yes,
What is this? It's like a
underground layer.
to the. Yeah, it's like an underground.
So,
Railroad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's the.
It really
I'm
is.
trying to think of
That-
what it is.
Harriet Tubman's down there.
That's where
Oh my
I
God.
think where the help travels because the servants' doors lead to there, which is funny because there was a board game that I did remember called Secret Tunnel.
Interesting. This is a great place to bootleg. Yeah, all those
Really? No, it really.
passageways.
Honestly, Vic was bootlegging back in the day.
Of
He
course
was.
bootlegging. If Night of the Demons taught me anything, you create tunnels and secret passageways to bootleg.
It's true. So she actually is going to get out of the house.
Sure.
She's going to go into the stable.
Hell yeah.
And
Georgie's there.
Honestly, should have just hid in the stable and just called it a day.
Imagine just getting shot in the fucking hand
by a child, no less.
This cold-blooded killer. She's like, like she doesn't even hesitate. She goes up thinking like this kid's gonna be kind-hearted. Absolutely not.
Shoots her dead center of the hand. And I love she doesn't hesitate. Decks him.
Yeah. Punches him right in the face.
Knocks him out. But she then falls backwards through the cellar door. Is it a cellar? It's technically a body pit.
I think this is where like the animal shit. Is that what this is?
No, because it's all the sacrificed goats are down there.
And dead people.
And the dead
The
husband.
sacrifices for the rituals. 'Cause
Yeah.
the stink is so bad, she instantly pukes.
Yes, because you see all the slaughtered goats, and you also see the husband with the 2 arrows in him from the beginning of
That's
the movie.
right.
Because later on, they throw the maids down there,
Yes,
too.
they do. They do. So this is literally a body pit.
It's the body pit.
Yeah, so she falls in the most disgusting scene of the movie. She's trying to get back up out of the body pit, but the ladder breaks, so she has to hook the hole in her hand with a nail that's up there and pull herself up like that.
I don't know if that was on purpose or if she just happened to like put her hand there.
Definitely by accident, I would say.
Yeah, but it worked, and it was gross.
And it needed to work. It needed to work because it was she needed to get traction.
Yeah, and it was definitely traction.
That was so bad.
There's certain things that still, like, I'm pretty desensitized to all this horror stuff, but certain things still skeeve me out.
Like already made wounds getting further
yes,
injured.
yes.
With a rusty-ass nail.
Yeah, it still makes me cringe, like, seeing something like that.
Something about like this movie to an extent really reminded me of Fear Street. Like the deal with the devil
The
and
underground area.
losing her hand.
Yeah, no.
I would watch this movie with young Dan and we started like going off about Fear Street. We were like, oh yeah, what? So let me get this straight. What? One person, he killed 15 kids. Beside the point. What does he get? Tomatoes. His land has fruit. So you kill like 17 people and you just get tomatoes.
It's probably really good tomatoes, though,
I hope so.
New Jersey was founded off of tomatoes.
It's the garden state.
Exactly.
I mean, so tomatoes.
I just
Do
thought
we
that
even
was
have gardens anymore in the state?
Probably not.
I just thought that was so fun. It's like you kill one person, what do you get? A sports team.
That's
Honestly,
pretty lit, though.
that's a good deal. I actually think most of our sports teams are built off of the death of innocents.
It could be.
I mean, you're gonna make billions off a
You
sports
tell me
team.
Dan Snyder's a good guy? Come on.
The only good owner in sports is Jeffrey Lort.
Oh my god. Probably.
I'll
You're
assume
probably
I
right.
know. I'll just
And
assume
A-Rod.
I know who it is.
That's a fact.
And Magic Johnson. You still own the Dodgers? At least part owner?
Yeah, he's part owner.
Look at that. What a good guy. His tweets are great. They're not common sense.
Perfect.
So she's going to start running through the forest, and the mother's going to shoot an arrow at her. Miss.
No,
She's
no,
like,
Charity.
oh, that's who shoots the arrow?
Yeah.
She's going to miss.
She's like, bye, bitch. And then she completely like doesn't
Whiffs.
even like Grace doesn't even notice that she did it.
Yeah.
Like, but in all honesty, like, did she actually think that she was gonna hit a moving target? Like, they're so awful with their
I know,
weaponry.
I
Like,
know.
there's literally like no chance. This is not like Most Dangerous Game or some of these other movies where you're hunting someone down and everybody's a marksman. These people are horrible.
Yeah, the worst.
Yeah, I was gonna say back to the point why I kind of really like this movie. Just it's very realistic. Like if Shane or you were to shoot a crossbow, you'd probably miss by 25 feet too.
Probably-
Oh, yeah, I'm not going to deny that.
Probably would just fall off the bow.
Mine would probably go backwards and hit me. Like, let's
my
be
God.
realistic.
But like the idea is they haven't done this since the time that I think Helene's husband.
Yes, that
And
was the
most of
last
these
time to
people
play hide
probably
and seek.
never even played hide and seek before, besides what the father and Aunt Helene.
Yeah.
This is why I thought she could have, like, even if Georgie came to the stable, I feel like she should have just, like, hid him on the stables until 6, because they thought she was in the house. Like, they were guarding the exits as if she was in the house. They had no idea she wasn't.
It's true.
Is this the part in time where she's gunning into the street and then the car passes
Well,
her?
yeah, that's what I wanted to. That's what I was gonna get to next.
The fence.
She goes through the fence first, and
Yeah.
it's like a very tight fence, and you see it like cutting. It's her back, right? It's cutting
Slices
through her back.
Yeah.
And you actually, it's like a slow like cut, like as she's going through.
She has to, and that is you need stitches for that. A
Yeah.
lot of them.
And then she gets out onto the road. A guy just completely drives past her. Doesn't even like stop for her. And then
He's like, fucking bitch.
which honestly, kind of realistic. I could see people doing that. She does though. The butler then comes to her, right?
Yeah.
And she like outmaneuvers him, gets his car. She drives off, and OnStar is just like, how can we help you? She's like, call the police, please. And they're like, this car's registered as stolen. We're shutting your car off.
That was quick as hell.
They're like,
She's
bye.
like, Justin, are you fucking kidding me?
I was like, well, there's no use for profanity.
It's, dude, it's so
She's like,
funny.
she's like, Justin, yeah, fuck you. All right, bye.
And when he's like, we're not like, we'll be like liable or something like that. So he's like, we're not doing this. I'm like, this is realistic because there's a 911 call I listened to like long ago when I was doing dispatching courses and stuff. And it was like this woman called 911 from an old person's home. And they're like, yeah, this woman's having like a heart attack or something. And they're like, oh, we need you to perform CPR on her right away until the police get there. And they're like, yeah, it's like company policy for us not to. So they never did, and she died.
Wow.
So this OnStar thing seems crazy.
No, that
Actually,
makes
very
sense.
realistic.
I feel like that would make sense though, because like if you do that, the person could be like, they were touching me.
Exactly. There, it's all. You're always worried about a lawsuit.
And Justin's like, before I let you go, welcome to the family.
That actually would have been sick.
I was expecting that
That
actually.
would have been sick.
I'm not gonna lie, I was actually fully expecting that to happen, and I was actually very disappointed when it didn't.
Yeah, because like at the end of the credits, you're like, oh, sorry, this is Justin. He just explodes.
Oh my god.
You just hear a popping sound.
So she's got to like run through the woods again, and now the butler's chasing her in the car.
With a melted face because he did get cracked with a coffee pot earlier.
Yeah, he's going through it right now. He will get her, capture, put her into the car, and he's going to listen to his whimsical music, as you said earlier.
While he's on FaceTime.
Yeah.
Very whimsical. These tranquilizers are about as useless as any person with a
Yeah,
weapon.
she was
in
probably
this.
out for about 2
Well,
minutes.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like that was on purpose though, in a sense, because he wasn't supposed to, like, they're not trying to kill her.
Absolutely not. I'm just saying that is
Yeah.
the worst sedative of all
Yeah,
time.
Brian's thinking this should have knocked her out for at least an hour.
Yeah. Well, unless they have a really fucking long driveway and it takes a really long time to get to the house.
There's
Nah,
literally
yeah,
no way.
they definitely didn't go that far.
Because they were literally down the block. I feel like
Yeah.
they just literally went down the street.
But she's going to wake up, and they're going to be, because Nick said they're on FaceTime, and they're like, behind you, but he's listening to the music. So she just kicks him in the face twice.
Yeah.
And the car just flips over, all this
Their
madness.
reactions are great. They're like, ooh,
Yeah.
ah. That had young Dan reeling. Like, it was
Spray
great.
painted Converse hit diff.
They hit different.
They do.
They
They
got
do.
+5 to kicking power.
That's
for
it.
Yo. So she's going to be not fine, but she's going to be able to get out of the car.
Sure.
Is the butler dead here? We don't see him again, right?
I
From
think
this moment on?
he's dead.
I think he's dead too.
Yeah.
I don't think we see him.
Yeah, I don't think we see him again. So
Who you do see is Daniel
yes. And
with a gun, rifle, right?
he's finally going to help her, right? And oh no, he doesn't help her yet.
No.
That's right, because the dad's also going to be there.
But I always feel bad because, like, I know that Daniel knows his dad is right there, but I don't think what he's saying to her is, like, him lying, like, just to get her.
I feel like he would have helped her if the dad wasn't there at that point in
Yeah.
time. He plays into, I can't portray them with him there. It won't work. So
Yeah.
he does hit her. They capture her. They bring her back to the house.
He's like, my family is so easy to deceive. I will just capture her now
Yes.
and then put on the greatest poison act of all time later. I had this all planned and
Yeah.
hooked in.
Yeah.
They love drinking wine. They're very, very easy and very, very capable of being deceived.
Yes.
Because they're all very desperate.
Yeah, and kind of dumb.
Yeah, well, it's what happens, so let's just get right into it. They're going to bring her back. They're going to tie her up. They're going to be talking about the ritual. They're going to drink the wine. And they're all going to start choking some poison.
Yeah. This is poison.
Yeah.
They've
And
been poisoned.
Grace is going to escape. She's going to run into Daniel, who's like, she's like, did you kill all them? He's like, nah, they'll be fine. They're going to be shitting weird for a week, but they're going to be fine.
And then also goes into it, like, if he thinks they're gonna be shitting weird for a week, he probably doesn't even think the thing is real. Because if she escapes, they all die anyway.
Or he's just, like, had
enough.
enough of it.
Yeah, I think he's
Probably.
over it. Like, I think he was at the point, like.
Well, because it's so cyclical. He's just like, if it is real, like, we just need to end it.
Yeah.
Like, it's got to be ended.
And because because when the mom is talking about it with Alex, like in the room before he escapes, she's like, he's like, this shit isn't even real. And she was like, if you didn't think it was real, you wouldn't have let her pull the car in the first place.
So
100%.
There's two things that I know in life. History repeats itself. Traditions repeat themselves. This is a tradition, and it will repeat itself unless you stop the tradition. He's trying to stop the tradition. It's a tradition.
You're 100% right, Brian. I'm following everything you're saying. What you're putting down, I'm buying. Of course I'm a man of tradition, but sometimes that tradition needs to be broken.
And that's what Daniel's trying to do. He's trying to break that ritual. Family rituals, family traditions, family rituals board game.
Exactly.
Family tradition, census fail song.
Great census fail song.
I know.
And his wife, though, loves tradition shows. She shoots him in the neck.
Yes. He's going to die because that's a killing shot. I mean, you're going to choke to death, and you're really not much you can... I feel like that's pretty much like...
Unless you got some of that, like, Mighty Putty that Billy Mays used to sell to just, like, pack it in, you're pretty much done.
The line that she's like, you really don't care if I die, and then she shoots him.
Can you survive that situation if you got one of those voice boxes?
I don't know how you would survive a bullet to the neck. I think that's...
What if the voice box takes the shot for you? But I don't know if it's hanging there.
So you're saying if it's a person with a voice box, but the box gets shot?
Do you ever feel like the voice, a man with a voice box or a woman that has it, and you just feel their skin out to see where that voice box is?
Yeah, I've never done that.
You ever do like a stuffed animal that talks, and you dig into the stuffing of the animal, and you see the voice box?
Okay, that part I have done.
Is that how it is?
That part I have done. I haven't fondled the person's voice box before.
Because it doesn't replace the larynx. Am I getting this wrong? Wouldn't the voice box be there like a Mattel toy or something like that, and you just you squeeze around for it?
Okay. No, the voice box is on the outside, but it does go to the inside a little bit.
And it's like, you know, the doctors, like, they sew in that human zipper so you could just zip it out and take it out.
Yeah, no, they're like the Slovene in fucking Doctor Who.
Yeah.
They just unzip and they're out of their skin.
Unzip their skin.
It would be a lot cooler if we had zippers.
Agreed.
It'd be awesome.
Kind of want a zipper now.
Going back to what Brian said, I actually think I think he would live if he got hit in the right spot in the neck.
Okay.
She probably blew up his what's that thing that you have?
Voice box?
No.
Larynx?
No.
Thorax.
No.
Your jugular?
Tonsils.
Vein.
No.
Jugular.
Keep going.
Throat.
No. It's in the throat.
Esophagus.
No.
Esophagus.
That's what I was going to say.
What are the artery?
Artery. Yeah, I mean, isn't that the artery?
jugular.
Yeah,
big
you
one,
have like
yeah.
an artery like right here, like under your arm.
I think he took it right in this region.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not
right
here
there.
or here so much, but right in this
there.
region here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
lot of blood.
We took out his artery.
That's a bad way to go because you're basically choking on your
I
blood
know.
and you're trying to talk, but you can't because everything you try to utter is blood. It's blood speech.
I don't know if I would want to marry someone whose family I utterly hated. I would just be like, this looks like my future. I'm out.
Yeah, so...
I don't know if I would have even like been in this family in the first place.
Grace is not going to want to be in this family because she's actually going to go back to the game room. She's going to have a quick little chat with the mom, and then she's going to have a scuffle with the mom, and then beat her face in with the puzzle box.
This is where Alex has gotten out already.
Yes.
So I think if, other than Daniel, like let's put Daniel aside, he couldn't have seen Daniel. I think if he had walked in on the mom choking Grace first, I think he would have also like helped her with the mom. I think only because he found Daniel and then saw her beating the mom. Kill the mom is why he turned. I think if it had been reversed and he had been 30 seconds earlier when Halim was strangling Grace, then I think he still would have chosen Grace.
Interesting.
I also think it didn't help when he went for that last little saving grace. He's like, you're not going to stay with me after this, right? And he's like, well...
Yeah. Saving grace. Nice.
Yes, I didn't even do that on purpose, but thank you.
I caught that. Interesting thing about gunshot wounds. Quick question. Would you ever... Here's the deal. You have to either marry somebody with a gunshot wound or they have to shoot you after you get married. What are you doing? Marrying someone with a gunshot wound, or they have to shoot you after the wedding.
Why wouldn't you just marry someone with a gunshot
You have a
wound?
choice, Shane. What are you going to take?
I'm going to marry the person with the gunshot
Okay,
wound.
my second question.
Oh, God.
Would you marry somebody with diabetes, or would you prefer without diabetes?
Without diabetes.
Okay.
I'm not going to
You answered both of my
I'm not going to
questions.
give them diabetes just to marry them.
I mean, I'm just saying, would you rather marry somebody with the disease or without it?
I mean, without it,
Without
but if
it.
they come with it, I'm not going to be a quarrel.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
And then you could later on in life be like, oh, I'm the reason you now have diabetes because they didn't have it before.
You're welcome.
This is actually sick.
Now think about, but go back, like sick, true, but the gunshot wound thing would be pretty bad to say you got a gunshot wound.
Yeah. I don't want a gunshot wound, though.
Why?
I'm
maybe,
good.
Maybe it'd be badass. You got one on your bicep.
well,
or
Shane,
something?
surprise, surprise. Brian has a surprise for you.
Oh, my elephant gun. Like Daniel has this big ass fucking rifle.
I just go in your kitchen. There's just the elephant gun over the wall. Nah, I'm kidding.
For
Damien would
display
never
only.
hang anything on the wall.
No. True.
It is true. All right.
There's
So
nothing on your walls.
Alex is going to be a little upset about the whole divorce and dead parents
An understatement.
and brother. So he's going to hold her, and they're going to perform the ritual. They're going to hold her down. But she's going to get out just in time where he's not going to hit her in the chest. He's just going to get her in the arm.
Yeah.
And then Aunt Helene opens the curtain and realizes, the sun!
I mean, it was clearly already daylight
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
And she just like opens it like they're a bunch of fucking vampires, and they're gonna melt.
Well, they don't.
Like, I'm going to kill her anyway.
It's over. LaBelle's game. We lost.
Yeah.
And like everyone just starts laughing like, is this a fucking joke?
Yeah, like,
Their reactions are so funny.
he's like, because he's like touching himself. Finch is the guy's
Yeah,
name.
Finch, yeah.
And he's like, we're alive. He's like, and they're all like that realization that it's like always
They've
fake.
been living a lie.
And then who is it who blows up first?
It's Aunt Helene.
Yeah.
Yeah, Aunt Helene just explodes.
I think does it go by the eldest?
It does because the dad goes next.
No, because the kids go.
Oh yeah, because
After
the kids
their-
go before
It's-
Alex.
Actually, it's weird, and it's definitely
It
a little
doesn't I don't
bullshit
think
in
it
the
matters.
time
Yeah,
sequence,
yeah.
but like they die together, the kids and the wife.
Yeah, while they're
Died
running
together.
away, all blow. He might just blew them all up together because they ran out of the room. Maybe.
But
Trying to
it
escape,
cracked me up though because right before they all blew up, they were like, "What do we do with her now?"
Oh, yeah. So
Yeah.
I see. Like I like the idea of LaBelle and like blowing each other to his own because it's like his game.
Yes.
So like maybe he has like this invisible C4
Well,
strapped to
no.
everybody.
To be fair though, before anyone blows up, the hide and seek music plays again,
Yes, it does.
And-
And there's an invisible person,
finding them.
and you see the record player play
Yeah.
without a hand touching it.
Yes. So everyone's blowing up. It's just her and Alex.
It's just a ginormous
When-
blow fest.
When Aunt Helene blew up first, Dan was standing there. He was like, "Who shot her?" Like he thought someone
Yeah.
shot her.
That's what Mom said too.
Yeah.
She's like, "Yo, who just shot this girl?" I'm like, nah,
I
she
thought-
blew up from thin air.
I thought it would have been hysterical if LaBelle came out and just had like a shotgun and he looked like a ghost and just started like shooting everyone.
Very quick follow-up question with just to this whole point. Would you prefer to marry somebody and have your wife or husband, spouse, blow up or just die of natural causes? Painful, slow death of natural causes. Probably from the diabetes from earlier.
I'm gonna. Jesus Christ.
But she could blow up at any time. You could get married and then she could blow.
But think about this: if you take the blow up route, assuming that you made a deal with the devil, you're going to be tortured forever in the Necronomicon because you're probably going to hell.
True. I mean, true. And it could be like one of those things where like it's like a ready or not kind of blow, or it could be like a Shane Smith kind of blow after you eat seafood.
So you could die. So you could die slowly of death, but in the afterlife you won't be miserable. But in that afterlife, you could still be tortured.
Let's go with the slow death
okay.
because you get to at least live a little bit, a little
But
longer.
the blow death is really dope. I mean, those kills were cool.
Honestly, it's pretty
I would
cool way to
opt.
go out.
I'd opt for the blow death if I wasn't going to hell afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want. Nobody wants to go to hell.
Yeah, no one does.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like that.
Fun place?
It's a
No.
very fair trade-off, like quick death, but also you're tortured forever in eternal hell.
Yeah,
Sounds
that's
kinda
not
awful.
fun.
Also, those blow-up deaths are probably the best deaths in the movie because everyone else dies so slowly
Yeah,
and
painful.
painfully, and like their death drags out for like minutes, it feels like, and they just snap at a finger and they're
Sure.
gone.
Alex is gonna plead with Grace, and he's gonna blow up all in her mouth.
Like, look, I'm
he
here.
Blows up in her mouth.
It's like, look, I'm here. I get a second chance. And the bell's like, sure you do.
And in one of the coolest shots of the movie, then she looks, a fire erupts a little bit, and you see the outline of LaBelle's ghost.
Yes.
He just kind of like winks at her, he's like, "Sup."
So, baby.
She's like, fuck.
Yeah.
It did say in the thing I was reading on IMDb that technically the entire fortune does go to her.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Yeah.
But she's going to go to prison. So
But that doesn't mean she doesn't get the fortune.
That's true. Because she goes outside. She just sits on the stoop. Because also the house erupts into flames, which normally I'd be like, oh, it was a house fire that just she survived, but she's covered in their blood.
Yeah, it's a bloodbath. I mean, what are they going to think? It's, again, reverting back to Night of the Demons. What are they going to think?
Yeah. No, and so she just sits there. She lights a cigarette. I think she even realizes how the fuck is she going to explain this?
Fucking in-laws.
Her wounds would be so fucking confusing because she has this huge gash like in her back.
Yeah.
She when they come through the gate, like it looks like she was trying to escape because her clothes are like ripped all over the gate. So it does technically look like she's the victim, even though she's the only one living. And there's a hole in her hand.
Yeah, and I was going to say, like, they can't even recover the surveillance footage because Alex destroyed it.
Everything.
Right? So,
Yeah.
like...
They might not even have enough to convict because of the injuries.
Yeah. Her injuries are conflict. She could just be like, they were trying to kill me. The house set on fire.
Yeah. And that's Ready or Not.
Yes, it is.
It'll probably be covered up, though, by the company.
Most likely.
A very interesting idea. A very cool idea. Of course, there's some questions, but the movie's definitely worth the questioning.
I agree, which is why I'm going to give this movie an 8 out of 10.
Is this like a Seagal 8, or is this like a Wesley Snipes 8?
No, this is like, I'm going to say this is an Arnold Schwarzenegger 8.
That's a strong 8.
It's a very strong 8.
Schwarzenegger was like the king of action
I
in the 80s.
love Schwarzenegger movies,
True.
and I love this movie. Yeah, there's plot holes, but from top to bottom, I enjoyed everything. Everyone acts really well, and that's one of the things.
Axe. Because
You got the battle
Helene,
axe, yeah.
Helene killed with the axe.
Yes.
Golden axe.
Yes, that's a game that people played. But yeah, everything about it. I like the whole thing with it actually being real. I really enjoyed. I would have been more let down if it wasn't real.
Sure.
I enjoyed it. It's a very entertaining movie that does have good pockets of comedy in it, which is what you want from a horror comedy. So I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10, and we'll just go down the line.
I like good gamesmanship, and I thought this was a great game.
Yeah.
Are there plot holes? Yes, but LaBelle is in control here.
Exactly.
And I'm sure he would have called out more rules if it was necessary. We're gonna have questions like every movie, but I think, like I said, I think that in scope, I'm fine with it, with the additional questions, because the story itself was so good and the comedy was sprinkled in well on this little Sunday here we call Ready or Not. It's a beautiful Sunday. Diabetes, we're going full circle here with the whole conversation. I'm going 7 out of 10. Strong 7, though. And now I'm going to kick it off to, were you going Nick next or Jen?
No,
You said
we'll go
an
Jen.
order,
Yeah,
but
we'll
that
just
was-
go in Jen because the guest always goes last.
Sure.
True. Suck it. I actually am also going to give this an 8 because the plot holes didn't ruin the movie for me. I kind of enjoyed filling that in for myself and kind of guessing. And I told you guys earlier, I watched this with young Dan. It was just a riot. We enjoyed it so much. His parents came in and sat down and were watching it with us. And it was just a good movie. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Anything that was missing, I don't think played it down too much. And I'd be happy to watch this movie again. So 8 out of 10. I would recommend.
Yeah, no, I'm going to go same, 8 out of 10. I just love the entire part of, I loved like the mystique part of like, oh, is it real? Is it not? People watching YouTube videos how to shoot guns and crossbows. Like half the people don't even know what they're doing, if they're doing's right. The rules are loose, which, if something happened 100 years ago, things get misinterpreted different over time. And you know what? You just make up your own rules as you go. And yeah, just the comedy and everything. It just, as a whole, it was a great movie to watch. And I would love to see if they did they can't really do a sequel. I think a prequel would be probably
which is what I was
better
saying.
off.
And we talked about like 4 different prequels at this point. For this.
Yes.
We're just giving them ideas. They have to give us rights at this time.
I would love like a backstory of LaBelle.
Yeah. That'd be cool too.
Yeah. Because theoretically, is LaBelle like just the devil? Because they are saying Hail Satan at one point during their ritual.
So LaBelle was someone that their family met? Because
Yeah,
I was a little confused at the beginning that LaBelle was actually their great-great-grandfather.
No,
No, he was like a man the grandfather met.
On like the
Gotcha.
He's
most-
literally just a fairy, man. He's like a dude on a
Yeah,
boat.
what it is I don't think LaBelle was a real person. He was just like the devil. Like the
demon,
devil
yeah.
showed up.
Is it
Yeah.
one of those things where like there's a basic cruise ship and everybody disperses and you just see the creepy dude in the corner playing the flute? That's LaBelle.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, you're 100% right.
He's like Rumpelstiltskin.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you got a little creepy troll friend called Lapel.
Yeah, you just spit on him every so often.
Oh my God.
Whoa!
Appropriate.
All right, gentlemen. We have, I think, about like 14 or 15 kills at this point in time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a lot. Do you guys have any nominations for the Necronomicon? Because we don't really have a shortage of good characters.
So this is actually tough for me because I don't know. I want to either go with Daniel or I want to go when the first maid gets her face blown off because it's so out there and funny. So I'd be okay with either of those two.
I was just, for me, the one that popped off the head was the battle axe decapitation.
That's
Aunt
enough.
Helene?
Yeah, with Aunt Helene. I was going to say, because the Daniel one, like, it's just a normal gunshot. It's slow. Like, it's a big character moment. But, like, the first one got that wow factor of, like, okay, oh, shit, this is going down right now. And then the battle axe one is just, it's just a baller move.
Oh, I thought you
Aunt
were
Helene.
saying Aunt Helene.
Oh, no, not her.
Because hers
dead.
was funny.
Her chopping off the maid's
The
head.
first maid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Second maid, I think it is, right?
For me,
No, it's the first maid because it's the one that Emily shoots.
No, it's the second maid. It's
the one that's
the
crossbowed.
one that gets crossbowed in the mouth. That's the second maid. That's the one that gets battle axed afterwards.
Okay, got it.
you know, I'm like torn between 3, but I think I'm gonna settle on 1. Daniel makes a lot of sense, but I'm actually not gonna go with him. And the other one, I just like the kids when they blow up because the kid
incredible.
is like a piece of shit. But I'm gonna go with the maid just slowly, or the dancer lady, she's gonna slowly crushed by the dumbwaiter.
Okay, so basically, we have 3 votes for 3 different characters. Maid 1, Maid 2,
And Maid 3.
I'm dead. Honestly, just break out the dice.
Oh, I like that.
We'll play a game.
Honestly.
Oh,
Lapel,
all right.
the old Frenchman himself.
Then I vote number 4 is lapel.
Look,
3-sided die.
No, 4-sided die. I want to see if lapel shows up.
Oh my God.
He's like not even alive. Was never alive to begin with. We just made him up. But
fictional
I
character.
want to see if he actually gets picked.
4 is lapel.
Yeah, 4 is
We
lapel.
will literally make a character that's person.
All right. I'm not. This first one doesn't count because I have to click on it. Okay. So here we go. I'm gonna roll
So wait, 1, 2, 3,
and then 4.
4.
Haha.
Yeah.
You gotta show it to the camera after for proof.
Yep.
This is very serious.
Oh wait, roll 2 of them. Hold on. How do we get that?
Go
off?
for the first one. Just go for the first
Just
one.
go for the first one?
Yeah.
So here we go.
I think it's that, by the way, but it doesn't matter.
It
Okay.
is 1
Yours, which would
to the camera.
So it's made. So which
we
maid
were
did
going
you
with
do?
the first die, which is number 1.
It would be Shane's, right?
It would be maid number 1.
Maid number 1. All right.
By the way, the funny thing is the second dice was a 4, so lapel picked.
That's pretty funny. We would have done lapel. All right. Shaney boy, do you have a eulogy prepared for maid number 1?
I do.
Behind door number 1.
Maid number 1. I know absolutely nothing about you. Absolutely nothing.
Nope.
But what I do know is you set the tone for this movie.
Tone setter.
Exactly. You made us realize anything's possible, and you let Grace know, oh shit, I'm being hunted. You were the most important plot device. And we like putting important characters into our Necronomicon.
True.
I don't know your name.
No.
But maid number 1, you're going in the Necro.
Look at that. Look at that. That was great.
Thank you,
Great
thank
movie.
you, thank you.
Nick, thanks for coming on. This was a lot of fun. We should do it again sometime. What do you say?
Oh, I'm down for it. You know, I was looking at Shane, well, your guys' list of movies and
The plan.
the plan. And there was a few of them. I was like, oh, let me do this. And he's like, oh, we're booked here. And I was like, what about, and finally, Ready or Not, I was like, finally,
I
when
think
I get to come back on.
I think the first one Nick looked at they wanted to be on was Shaun of the Dead.
Oh, yeah.
Which was booked.
This is the final podcast in a nutshell. This is like our brain. It's like banger horror movie, obscure shit that nobody watches but us. Banger horror movie, obscure shit that nobody watches but us. And it's always been that way.
Yeah, but it's great because the obscure shit does really good.
I know.
But like Brian said, thank you for being on, Nick. We'll definitely have you on again. And now's a good time to reveal. Next week, we are reviewing my favorite horror movie of all time,
Yes.
finally. We are reviewing The Descent.
We're going all the way back to 2006 when
Yes.
my favorite football team won a Super Bowl.
The Indianapolis
It
Colts.
was actually the 06-07. It was technically an 07, but
Close
it was that season.
Yeah, close enough, close enough. So, with that said, we are the final podcast signing off, and we will see you next week in a cave. with only women.
Climbing. They're climbers.
Yes.
You like to climb.
Of course I like
I've
to
seen you
climb.
do it. I'm only going to plug one thing today. Friendship. But to do that, you're going to go on to www.thefinalpodcast.com. We've got everything on there. All the social media platforms, all the videos, all the goods. Check it out. New episodes every Monday. You know the drill.
You'll only find friendship in our Discord.
That's true.
That is true. It's a very friendly Discord.